On today's episode, we are going to take a closer look at the three semiconductor giants, Advanced Micro Devices, Intel, and Nvidia. There have been a nice amount of updates for each company. AMD has an investment, Intel is kind of showcasing its AI strength, and Nvidia continues to see strong demand thanks to their AI products. So let's get started. First, let's just take a closer look at stock price. We can see how volatile the semiconductor market is. In the past 5 days, AMD stock price is down nearly 10% as I am recording. Intel is also down a nice amount, down roughly 7%. On the other hand, Nvidia continues to show its strength. In the past 5 days, the stock is up over 1%. So like I mentioned today, we're going to take a closer look at updates. And so first, AMD on June 21st of 2023, they did announce an investment of $135 million to expand adaptive computing research, development, and engineering operations in Ireland. So this $135 million is going to be used in the next 4 years. The investment is intended to fund several strategic R&D projects through the addition of up to 290 highly skilled engineering and research positions, as well as a broad range of additional support roles. So first, I want to say, compared to a lot of these investments that we're seeing globally right now, we're seeing investments in the billion of dollars. It looks like a small amount, this $135 million, but again, they are just focusing in a specific market here. It's mainly the kind of adaptive computing research, and this is thanks to their Xilinx acquisition. They do mention that Ireland, to my surprise, is one of the kind of heartlands of the European research and development centers, especially for semiconductor products. Other companies like Intel who do have some plants in Ireland as well. So it's kind of interesting to see kind of other players there as well. AMD does mention that prior to the acquisition of Xilinx by AMD in 2022, Xilinx had partnered up with the government of Ireland on a number of occasions to advance semiconductor innovations in that region. And this expansion further strengthens the company's presence in Ireland as a leading center of semiconductor innovations and puts Ireland at the heart of AMD's European research and engineer operations. So like I mentioned, most of this plan is based on Xilinx products, which are now AMD's products, but it's pretty interesting to see kind of this expansion. Next, I want to take a closer look at Intel, and I want to say AMD probably had the weakest news of the bunch. Intel's news is, in my opinion, a lot more interesting, and it kind of shows the strength of their AI market and how, even though when we think of AI, I think first place comes in at Nvidia, obviously. Second place, I feel like many think of AMD, but I personally believe Intel is definitely a nice second place here. One, with their server CPUs that tend to be doing really well with AI workloads, but number two, with their kind of GPU products that I feel don't get much love. So Intel Labs introduced an AI diffusion model that generates 360-degree images from text prompts. And here we can see kind of an image, a text prompt, a solar punk modern office cozy, and we can see the image a little bit here, how it's more like a 3D image. I think this is pretty darn interesting. They do mention that right now, advanced generative AI models are limited to generating only things like 2D image, unlike existing diffusion models, which generally only generate 2D red, green, blue images from text prompts. This new model that they have created generates both an image and a depth map from a given text prompt. And I think that's pretty interesting. Obviously, Intel Labs is kind of partnering with some other players, but this model is trained on an Intel AI supercomputer powered by Intel Xeon processors, most likely Sapphire Rapids, and the Intel Habana Gaudi AI accelerators. So we can see how Intel is really showcasing their strength in AI. I believe AMD doesn't really showcase too much at the moment, and that's why I believe Intel might be a nice second place, even though the market doesn't seem to think so. Intel does mention that they will continue exploring the use of generative AI to augment human capabilities and build a strong ecosystem of open source AI research and development. And this is one of the biggest things right now, because NVIDIA is such a monster in this space. Both AMD and Intel are talking about this open source ecosystem. I want to say NVIDIA's products are probably also very open source to some extent, but they are working to continue to work with companies like Hugging Face, and this will allow AI researchers to kind of improve and fine-tune custom applications. So I think this is great news for Intel, we do have one more news for Intel. They are agreeing to sell their a minority stake in IMS nanofabrication business to Bain Capital. So on, when was this? I believe this was June 21st. So yesterday, Intel Corporation announced that it had agreed to sell approximately 20% stake in its IMS nanofabrication business to Bain Capital Special Situations. The transaction is expected to value IMS at $4.3 billion. So a 20% stake sale is probably going to be closer to $1 billion. We can see Intel's really trying to build up that cash at the moment. I think it's great news as it continues to expand a lot of its kind of manufacturing endeavors. The transaction is expected to close in the third quarter of 2023. IMS will operate as a standalone subsidiary and will continue to be led by the CEO, Dr. Elmer Platzkummer. So we can see Intel is building up some money. This kind of technology that they're kind of building in this kind of little, in this business, not little, right? 4.3 billion is a technology that's used in EUV technology, which is very, very important for the manufacturing of advanced chips. So we can see Intel definitely has their hands in a lot of tech that continues to invest. We just saw the AI. Now we see them having tech that helps in the EUV market as well. So I think Intel is definitely one that I don't know. The more I read about it, the more bullish I get on the company, and I do believe we're still in early innings. I don't know. I'm not going to be surprised if in future you guys might hear that, hey, maybe I might have added into my portfolio. It's still a little too early to tell, but things, in my opinion, are looking very bullish for this company, especially thanks to the AI market. Now let's take a closer look at my favorite semiconductor company, Nvidia. But before we go there, guys, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 30,000 subs by the end of the year. 26,000 is so close, so please help me out. Also, if you want to join my semiconductor membership, just make sure to join. I do weekly videos there. Finally,
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so now that we're here in the kind of NVIDIA portion, right now we're seeing that Chinese tech firms are buying plenty of NVIDIA enterprise GPUs. One of those big players is actually TikTok developer ByteDance. There have been reports that the company is purchasing A100s prior to the ban, and they are also purchasing numerous H800s. ByteDance supposedly has placed orders totaling of $1 billion so far this year with NVIDIA, and that is insane. Remember, the H800 is the weaker down version of the H100, which is able to be shipped over to China. There are some regulations where NVIDIA can't send those super powerful cards to China at the moment, but there are some workarounds by creating weaker chips. Kind of talking about the U.S. sanctions and kind of this, we are seeing that U.S. sanctions are igniting a booming black market for NVIDIA AI chips in China. People are big players in China are paying crazy prices for the A100 with no warranty or support. I don't think this is big news for NVIDIA, but just wanted to showcase how big the demand for their GPUs are, that people are willing to pay crazy amount of prices. So legally, right, we have the H800, and that continues to sell, as we can see from big players like ByteDance. Now, the final thing I wanted to take a closer look at is there was a report by TrendForce that came out yesterday on June 21st that mentions that major cloud server providers aggressively constructing AI servers and boosting demand for AI chips and HBM, which is high bandwidth memory. So right off the bat, we are seeing that, hey, AI servers need a lot of things: CPUs, GPUs, mainly GPUs, but they're also using a lot of networking solution and a lot of memory. So a lot of great news for the overall semiconductor market. They are also mentioning that this huge growth in AI chips is increasing the advanced packaging capacity forecast to surge roughly 30 to 40% by 2024. That is next year. And guys, if you haven't watched my previous video, I did I believe I did 6 stocks that can benefit from advanced packaging capacity. I am going to post it on the link. Make sure to watch it. I talk from big giants who are over close to $100 billion in market cap, but I also take a closer look at 2 companies that are below $10 billion that can definitely benefit from this advanced packaging move. For those that are not familiar, advanced packaging is the way that a nice amount of advanced semiconductors are being built, like the MI300, like the H100, with the chiplet, with the kind of 2D, 3D architecture as well. So that's all I have for these 3 companies. If you guys enjoyed the episode, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.